One night in solo makes a hard man harder. Whoa, we're live here on
Hey,
YouTube, folks.
yes.
You've tuned in for Duster. We're actually 3 minutes early for Grandpa James. Hi, Grandpa James. We made it early for you. He's probably gonna have to rewind and hear us say hello. Solo,
Hello,
I have
hello.
a beautiful poster behind me, as you may notice.
Well, I only
And
see
this,
a little bit of it. I don't know what it is.
where's yours?
Well, I'm in the bedroom
Oh,
doing the pod.
in the bedroom. That was
So,
a great movie.
yeah. So I have just I changed it up. I have my Batman 66 Blu-ray collection,
Oh, okay.
little Bryan Cranston bio, and a Gladiator popcorn bucket.
Nice. I listened to
Hey,
that
hey, Axel,
bio.
you want to know how I know Solo didn't listen to the pod we did on Friday?
Huh.
Because he didn't notice that you had the Star City Murders poster up on Friday.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, yeah, I haven't listened. That's gonna
Sorry,
be my
Solo.
good night story for tonight when I
and do we have the let me bring up the Facebook page because of that really awesome comment
Yeah, that was in the
that we
Duster
had.
group, I think.
Oh yeah. That was really good.
Yeah,
I was
that
digging
was,
that.
let's see. Let's bring that up real quick and then we'll start this show.
You know what I've been listening to? I've been listening to Peter Benchley's Jaws
Ooh,
audiobook.
nice.
I never read it, never. So I said, you know what? Because it was like 24 bucks. It was like 5.99. So I'm like, I'm getting it. And man, just at the beginning, how they're just describing the first scene where the girls in the water
How
and
far are you into it?
well, I thought I was far, but I guess I fell asleep, so I'm not that far.
The That's always one of my go-to answers when people ask me, or when people always say a movie is never better than the book. Jaws is vastly superior to the book. It's one of the few.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them, but that is definitely one of them.
Well, what's interesting because I'm visualizing. It's cool because what did Spielberg take? What did he do differently? Like,
Hmm.
like the two couple at the beginning come out of the house and they're right there, and he's kind of drunk, but they did the party, the bonfire running, just little different things. But I do like how the shark and how she gets attacked, how it's described, and
And
but it's fascinating.
the book gets a lot more soapy too, much
I'm
more
sure.
soap opera-ish. Where
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the
yeah,
goings on, but
Doesn't doesn't Brody like have sex with the mom of the missing kid, or isn't there some kind of, or did I make that up in
I
my
don't know. I
mind?
know. I think doesn't Hopper have an affair with
yeah,
Brody's
Hooper,
wife? Oh,
Oh,
or
that's
Hooper.
what it
not
is.
yeah,
Okay.
Hooper hooks up with Brody's
Hooper.
wife. Yeah,
Hopper. I had a
Oh,
friend named Greg
really?
Hopper.
yeah,
With Brody's wife? Oh
yep.
Yeah, and then
shit.
Brody has sex with Bruce, the shark.
Oh my gosh. That's
The shark
amazing.
was
Oh, that
evidently
was Jaws
working.
4, the
That
revenge.
Wait
shark
a
was
Sorry.
second. That
working at
was
that
Equus.
time. Yes.
The shark was working it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shark was working. Exactly. Shark was working overtime. Um, all right. Let's do this, guys. Are we ready to get dusted, as the kids say, or
Ready when you are,
maybe
Captain.
I'll get dusted first. Solo's wearing a button up too now.
Yeah, you inspired me.
Wow.
Well,
My pullover, I
dropping a
feel a
few
little
LBs, some
underdressed.
of my shirts fit again. So
Yes.
I was sporting some of my the button down, short sleeve button down shirts. I'm like, yeah, feeling
You
good.
look like you're taking it to the streets.
Hey, I was listening to Yacht Rock today
Taking it
on my
to the
drive, and I
It
was
streets.
shows. It
there's some
shows.
bad. Like I didn't realize, like how like some bands have like that one hit wonder or maybe two, and they were playing like Rupert Holmes this song called Answering Machine. And I'm like, this is one of the worst songs I think I've ever listened to. But it was like, it's Rupert Holmes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Every single genre has a lot of those where they have one or two hits and then everything else is just garbage. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter the genre. They all have it.
But Yacht Rock was playing them.
Yep.
Yep,
Well, who doesn't want to
that's
hear
the
Rupert
truth.
Holmes' deep cuts? I mean, that's
Evidently,
Rupert. Rupert.
some Brett,
Rupert.
but
All right, folks. Are we
ooh,
ready
prick.
to do this? Are we ready to get dusted?
let's
Yeah,
do it.
I'm ready. I got good
Let's do
energy.
it.
was about to fall
All
asleep,
right.
but now
I
I'm
like that
good.
energy. All right. And does your hat say grain? What does it say? Grain beef?
Grain
Grain
Belt.
belt.
It's
Grain
a
belt.
Minnesota
I like
beer.
that. Nice.
Mm.
All right. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. It's time to get dusted. We're here to talk about Duster Season 1, Episode 7, K-129. A fantastic episode that we will discuss. That's me, my friend Andy, and my friend Heath. They're both back. All three of us are here, but we miss Latoya. Latoya, hopefully, maybe we should send Latoya a message about coming back for the finale or like after the finale, like a season wrap up. What do
Hey,
you think,
we could.
guys? Let's do it.
Doesn't
It's
hurt to
live. It's
ask.
been done.
Yeah.
She's listening. She knows. She knows. She's our best friend.
She's like, oh,
Um,
darn it.
she's like,
These
shit.
yokels again.
I was hoping those idiots would
All of a sudden, every
disappear.
one of us has been blocked simultaneously
Yeah,
on
there
all
we
social
go.
media platforms. Yes.
Well, before we get blocked, check us out at dvrpodcast.com. Become a patron because we are independent podcasters and we really do appreciate all of our amazing patrons who support the show at patreon.com/DVR. Actually, Andy and I just did a podcast last Friday, which became a Patreon only audio exclusive that people can listen to, or you can look on the YouTube because we do everything on the YouTube. But if you love that audio, like the old people do, and I'm one of them, check that out. Um, I think that's about it. All I have to say, Heath, you're back. We missed you last week. Do you want to say anything? I mean, do you want to apologize to the audience for not being here, or what's
Uh,
going on?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Here I come to save the day. Anyway, yeah, no, I loved the episode. I did a back-to-backer when I got back. I was driving my parents around Southern California, Big Bear, Anaheim, secret locations, just having a good time. But I missed you guys. It was kind of weird because I was so busy that I didn't watch any TV until like I was in a hotel room, not a hot check kitchen, but
Oh, no hot check
a
kitchens?
decent temperatured Anaheim hotel room. Was watching
Nice.
some stuff, but I wanted to save Duster for. So I was a little jealous that I don't know, jealous. I don't know if jealous is the word. I'm gonna sing a Natalie Merchant song, but
You had
no.
FOMO? You had FOMO,
What's
as
that
they
mean?
say. Fear of missing out. FOMO.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. You
Yeah.
know, I felt like I haven't podcasted in a year, and
Well, it
I missed
sounds
you.
like it too.
Yeah, I know because I keep no, but seriously, I missed you
Just kidding.
guys,
Come
and
on.
no, it's
I
you
love
can
it.
razz me, razzle dazzle bitches
I'll
as much as you
razzmatazz
want.
you. So we didn't get your feedback on last week's episode. Was there anything that you wanted to kind of say that was on your mind? Maybe something we forgot? I don't know, something that you want to mention before we dive into this week's app.
No, I think you guys put it eloquently, even though I haven't listened to the pod. But no, I just want to say,
Not,
go ahead, Ando.
I was just gonna say, not the best podcaster in the business for nothing.
Exactly.
No, I loved it, and I loved the action. I loved the Butch and Sundance. I loved the banter. I just think,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm beginning to realize, I mean, we knew this, but Josh Holloway is so good with other actors, with the banter, especially with Luna in this episode we'll talk about, but he's just so good. He's like a leading man who's also a great supporting actor in the same space. I just felt that, especially him and Nita when they're getting shot at and trying to forget, like it felt Butch and Sundancey. And I love the references. I mean, like you said, there's certain shows that are made for you and I, me, you, and Dupree. And I just feel like there's so much in this show that is right up our alley. And I enjoyed it, but it was weird watching two in a row for the first time because I kind of like was like, oh my God, it was like watching a movie. It was fun. But no, I'll get into some of the things as we go along. Um,
You know,
but
you made a good point about Holloway there because he really doesn't. he has chemistry with everyone in this cast. I
Really
can't think of
does.
anyone where there's been a scene where it's like I don't buy that or I don't every even if it's somebody with one line, it's great chemistry with everybody. I hadn't thought of it that way before, but he really does.
It really, the last couple episodes, it really hit me. Maybe because, I hadn't watched it for like a week, and then I watched the two, and I just realized it a lot. I'm like, man, Holloway, he might be underrated. I mean, not he's
Well,
properly
not
rated in
for
our
us.
world.
Yeah,
No,
not for us,
no, but
but
I mean,
yes.
just in general, I just I wish he got a little more, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure
Oh,
he
of
gets
course.
props, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, of course, man.
yeah.
Definitely. And hopefully Duster is doing it because people are digging
Hmm.
this show. That's
Hmm.
the that I continually am just seeing positive in reviews and anything, whatever social
Well,
media posts or whatever, right? Like
it's one of those
everyone's
shows too.
positive
The
about it.
the trick is just getting somebody to watch it because I don't think
Yeah.
many people are going to watch it and be like, "That was bad." They're going to enjoy it. It's not like even
No.
my wife wasn't really. I was like, I don't really care. And she finally sat down and watched an episode, and she's like, she came back. She's like, "Yeah, that's good." So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
my wife loves it. She has so
mhm.
much fun with it. We really it like we're gonna get dusted. Of course, we use that. Um, you know, but it's like a '70s show that's really great, meaning there's a lot of '70s shows you go back and watch and you're like, ooh, it's dated. This is a '70s show, but with 2025 filmmaking
Yeah,
and
modern
everything.
aesthetics. Yeah,
It makes it like perfect. But yeah, no, I'm digging the show a lot, as we all know.
Digging it, baby.
Yeah.
Now, listen, there's something we're going to dig into, which is this episode. But before we get into this episode, we do have a Facebook group called Duster on Max, and you can subscribe to it and become a member. And on this here group, we had a great piece of feedback that we talked about just starting the show with it, right? It's from a dude named Kevin, and he says this. Here's my prediction. Ezra is Nina's real father. He supposedly killed Nina's father years ago and also knew her mother. I think the mother had a relationship with him, and the man that Nina thought with her was her father was just raising her. Another thing is that Ezra's wife is out of the picture in the show. If this comes to pass, his son is not going to take it well if he is Nina's brother.
yeah,
And it also makes all the ridiculous over the top shit he's doing. Like, let me give you my fax number. Let me give you my
yeah.
My P.O.
like
box.
my PO box, right? Like it makes that even after we saw this before that, at least I did. I saw this before the episode, and then when I saw that, I was like, wow, I believe it even more. Um, I also think there's a connection between Nina's partner, Awan, and the Native American gentleman in DC who knows Xavier, the guy with the cowboy hat. I don't know if this man is Awan's estranged father, but I feel like there's going to be some kind of connection. We'll see what happens. That's what Kevin has to say. We had a lot of good responses. Ada, LaBelle, Humanizer. I like that name, Humanizer. All liked it a lot. You guys liked it a lot. Ando, any thoughts on that?
I love the thing of potentially being the daughter of Ezra. I'm amazed I never thought of that as a possibility, but it makes perfect sense with what's happening. I don't know if I like the A1 being related to that guy. That seems to make it just a little too small of a world, if that makes sense. But
Yeah,
I love the Nina being her. I'm amazed none of the three of us actually came up with that as a theory because it almost makes perfect sense in my mind.
I agree. Solo?
Actually agree with Ando and you always, but no, I like that, and it's very possible because I just feel the Saxon character, though, when he's watching the previous week, when he's watching Izzy on screen on the television, is like, we got to take care of it. She's a problem. We got to like,
Yeah.
you saw like the Sax, like, but
Yeah,
then the way he talks to Luna, and I just think we're gonna find out Sax isn't the worst guy in the world. He's a like the
That's
mobster. He
what
does bad
that
things.
yeah, dude.
I know you've been
I agree.
saying that.
Yes. Yep.
So I just feel like that could be a possibility, but maybe he doesn't know it. Is is what I'm thinking. I don't know, because it's kind of weird. because
That's
if that was
interesting.
his dad, though, if he knew, then you know what I mean. Like it's a little,
Yeah.
unless he really is in deep and knows
Yeah,
who she
but
is.
I could definitely see it being like she's Luke Skywalker and he's Darth Vader kind of a thing.
that's interesting
Oh
too.
yeah, that
There is also the everybody has daddy issues. Lost fans know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Also, there is the fact that she talks to her mom a lot on the phone, and who would know this? Her mom, right? Like maybe her mom would know this. So maybe that's a way to confirm it. If Sax doesn't know and she doesn't know, the only person who can confirm it is her own mother. So
yes,
I think
that
that that's a very interesting idea because they've introduced the mom. So that's why I feel like this theory has legs because when you kind of explore what the show has been giving to us, it
mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
supports, it could support this theory very quickly within the context of the show, right?
Hmm.
So, but with one episode left to go, you know what I mean? Maybe that's a season two thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get to that, you
Yes,
know?
let's
Yeah.
see what happens. And then the whole A1 thing, it's like just because the guy is
Yeah.
Native, like
That's
it
kind of
just
what I meant. It makes it too small of a world, I think, by doing that. Because there's all
Yeah.
he's from
I
the
don't
res. I know he became an FBI agent, but I just feel like this guy is so far up the
well,
chain
and
and
he even said part of the reason him and his dad didn't get along is because his dad didn't want him to work for the government because he thought it was
Yeah.
betraying the reservation. So that doesn't,
could be an uncle, could be an uncle. Maybe that's why dad didn't
you
want him,
know,
you know,
It could be an uncle.
yeah.
It could be an uncle.
distant uncle.
It could be
I
an
don't even know.
uncle's
Is there a
uncle.
distant uncle?
Um, yeah, that one I don't, I'm like, I understand he's riffing off his original, and
Yeah.
we don't have a backup to what went on with his dad, right? We were introduced to that concept, and it doesn't, I don't, again, we only have one episode left. So are we
Yeah.
going to
That's
be able to
also a
get to
season
that?
two thing, I think, or a
Yeah.
season three
So,
thing or
but
whatever.
the Nina Sachs thing, I could see there being some sort of hint to it in the final episode that, gives us some, because I feel like this, I don't know, maybe this is for the end of the pod, or like predictions or whatnot, but I kind of feel like we are going to get quite a few cliffhangers in the final episode. I just feel like it's definitely that kind of a show.
If Saxon and Nina are related, I could see, especially with the way Billy has been in the last couple episodes being the Bloodhound, I could see him uncovering it and him because he's so against Nina now that then he's gonna have a dilemma. What do I
Ah,
because he's basically the
Mm.
private investigator for Saxton. And I could
yeah.
see him being the one that uncovers it and he goes to Saxton and Saxton confirms it or something, but I don't know.
Well,
Billy can't just let anything
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
He's so
He's
he's
a
like,
pit
doing his
bull.
job though, right?
Yeah.
Solo?
yeah,
He's doing
no,
his
you're right.
job.
You're
I've
right.
really liked him the last two
That's
episodes.
yeah,
I've really liked where his character has gone. I mean, it's frustrating for the characters we love, but he's a good
yeah,
character, I think.
yeah.
He's
I
smarter
agree.
than
Yeah.
we thought at first
Hmm.
because he
Yes,
knew
yeah,
something was, he just
Yeah.
felt
It's
it, you
yep.
know, and he's
yeah,
really,
yeah.
in between sets at the Dresden or
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm
I don't think the
laughing.
Chili Peppers would ever play at the
Um,
Dresden, but no,
all right,
it's a more
so
of a jazz
let's jump
swing.
into it. And this episode, we actually start off with our good friend Sergeant Grooms, Donnell Logue of Terriers fame, that we haven't seen in many a episode. He was kind of waking up, I guess, in what, episode two or three, and then now we're
I think
back
he
to
got
him.
put
Well,
into I think he got shocked in this episode two, I think it was, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah. So when it was maybe we thought he might wake
We
up, but
saw him
now
in
he
three or
has.
four or something where we saw him in the hotel or in the
Yeah,
hospital room, but it's been a while.
so he didn't
this was
wake up in the previous episode at the end, or am
I
I
think that
like
I
did I
think that
invent
was
that in my
I
head?
think that was on the coming soon preview.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I
no,
might
that
have.
wasn't the yeah.
I might have
No.
confused myself.
But there was hint, we knew it was going to happen, basically.
Yeah.
We
So
knew
we
when
get
yeah.
we get a nice, I don't know, it's like about it's like the time thing, 2.5 minute, 3 minute long, kind of surrealistic. Um,
And this episode, speaking of that, it was directed by the same guy who did the hospital episode, Darren Grant. He also did the
okay.
hospital episode, You're No Good, and the Looney Tunes, Criminalis Velocitus Supersonicus. He directed both. So it's the third episode he's done. But it reminded me a lot of how that was very stylized too in that hospital chase where it felt like a
Uh,
horror movie.
I
This,
mean, it was a marvelous night for a moon dance, so
this,
I knew he directed it.
I love it.
yes.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun. I like the way he was like sliding on the floor at the end. I like I was kind of trying to figure out though it's like it looks to me like they actually shot this on the same set that the FBI office is. I think it's like on the back of that set. Maybe we'll ask
Well,
at
you
some
can
point,
see at
but
one
it
point when
looks
they
like
turn
it.
around where they've got the big windows with the curtains
Yeah,
like the curtain
yeah.
partitions hanging and stuff. And
That's what I'm saying. I think
I
they
think you might be
reused
right
that
there.
set, but it
Yep.
looked good. They pulled it
Yeah.
off.
With
But it
all the
was a cool
sand
little
and the
thing.
weird. It was weird. Yeah, I liked it.
I don't know how much there is to say because a lot of obviously he wants to talk to Sax. He wakes up and he's hearing the song playing and that, but it was very effective. And also I was happy to see Donell Logue. In our credit sequence, our little surprise is a Las Vegas snow globe.
That
Oh, is
got
that
that
new?
one
I'm the
that got me
worst.
excited.
I'm the
Yep.
worst at like ever since you guys said they add stuff and whatever, I don't pick up the new stuff at all. I thought that globe was there since Blue Suede Shoes.
I
Yeah, that was that. Is there anything else there? But that was it, right? And
Yeah.
think that's as far as I could see that was it.
okay, cool. Well, we start off with a great scene. This is fun. They're having like a little celebration at Sax's. He and Billy are looking through. I like the shot through the stove. I was trying to figure out what the hell are they looking at. I thought
I
it
could
might
tell
be
they were
like
baking something.
meatloaf.
I That's what I
Okay,
was thinking. Yeah, meatloaf or a roast or something is what I thought it
yeah,
was.
that's what I thought it was. But it turned out to be what? What was it? Grandma's stove bread? Isn't that what it's called?
Skillet bread
Oh,
is what they
Skillet
called
skillet
it.
bread.
bread. Okay.
Now, my observation, it's the 70s. Viewing something baking is such a theatrical thing
Yeah.
of that time. The 80s, it was the microwave, watching the a cup of coffee go around.
Right.
You
Great
know,
point.
and
Yeah.
then later on, we don't watch shit now. Like
Yeah.
we just want it instantly Uber Eats and we
No,
don't but
now people look at their phones, things baking. So
Yeah,
they just sit there
yeah.
looking
oh
at
dude.
TikTok, things growing and baking and eating and
Oh.
people eating. But you're right. That's actually fantastic because that is like a callback to so many movies and sitcoms of that era. That shot was like,
Hmm.
when you were a kid, you were like, oh, how did they get inside the oven? Or like the refrigerator
Or inside the
opens.
fridge. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like the world inside the fridge when the door closes.
That's one of the
That's a
cool things
great
about
point.
this show is
Yeah,
that there's nobody has screens. I mean, you see TVs
yeah,
occasionally, but there's not a TV screen in every room. There's not phones or iPads. It's kind of a fun world to live in just for that reason.
yeah,
Well, Cyrus
yeah.
Baker had a
Yeah,
television.
yeah.
But
So they're having a big get together, which is very fun. We end up getting to see most everyone, including Nina. Now in the beginning, Jimmy says that he came back from what's Sound City? Is that Detroit? What's Sound? He says he's coming back
Sound
Sound
City.
City. Yeah.
Sounds
I didn't
Yeah.
catch
yeah, I
that
didn't
That's what
line.
he
catch that
said.
either.
He
Oh,
said he comes
evidently
through
my
the
son.
door and Billy says, they're looking through the oven. Then he says, then Billy comes, he says, Sound City isn't around the corner. Yeah, hell of a detour. Sound City ain't around the corner. So
Huh.
The first thing that comes up when I Google Sound City is a recording studio in Van
yeah,
Nuys.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
Van Nuys, baby.
That's what it brings up to me too. That's like the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
Didn't
Dave
Dave
Grohl did
Grohl
a
do a
doc on it.
documentary on Sound
Yep.
City, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's something else. Like maybe it's just where they pick something up. But then they immediately start talking about the protests. So we're introduced to this concept. This is something I wanted to bring up. Um, I felt like that Jim would be a little bit more nervous because that seemed to be looming so large. And Sax, what we saw at the end of the episode, last episode, is he had kind of already given the order about Izzy, like take care of her, right? So I thought by the time things are obviously happening off camera and such, but I just thought he would be a little bit more nervous. Now, when he eventually shows up at Izzy's and talks to her, he is like trying to tell, he does his old Sawyer thing. He's like, you gotta listen to me, man, right? Like she's not listening to him. But I don't know. I just thought it would be a little bit more tension would be developed from that initially into the episode.
Well, I think with Jim, so much is going on.
It's
Like
a
he
good
did
point.
give it some proper attention, but I mean, he's got to go to Vegas. He's
Sound
worrying about
City.
Izzy, Sound City,
Yeah.
Star City. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's the sister city.
Oh,
Um,
I like it.
but like he just has so many plates moving or whatever the plates
Yeah.
twirling or
Late Cindy
whatever,
Yeah.
twirling.
rotating
Yeah.
pies, David Letterman, I don't know. But like, yeah, so he's got so much going on, he can't be in multiple places at once. So because Izzy doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying and it's like, I don't care what your mom boss says. And I'm like, oh boy. When you
Well,
miss
he kind of wants to get into it. He tells Billy he could take care of Izzy and what's going on over there with the trucker shit. But he's like, no, you've got something else to do, which obviously he ends up going to Vegas to meet Howard Hughes, who was not CGI'd. I was happy about that. That was just a regular actor. That was Howard Hughes. But this I don't know, you guys have anything to say about these scenes? The party that goes down. We get to see Genesis.
We got to see pigs in a blanket. I thought
Yeah,
that
they're
was
pretty
fun.
big. Those are big pigs in a blanket,
Huge pig
man.
in a blanket. The
Yeah.
Genesis calls her brother Big Head, which I thought was hilarious because I've been called Big Head before too. So I that made me chuckle.
Yeah.
I like the I don't know, say the maid, but like in my day, we let the boys wait a little long.
Yes, she
But
was great.
anytime in any show, someone's snooping around and they're not supposed to be there, I get really nervous. I don't know. It doesn't matter what show it is. I don't want them to get caught. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
that makes me more nervous than someone holding a gun to someone and wonder if they're gonna die or get shot. I just for whatever reason that always gets me.
Yeah. That was good.
there
I
there
like that
was
too.
a I didn't notice it until I didn't hear it until I watched it the second time with the captions on, and when the thugs are sitting at the table talking and they're talking about Linda Lovelace. Thought that was kind of
Yeah.
Oh, really?
hilarious.
Yeah. I remember that too.
That made me chuckle a little bit too. I was kind of I just had a big smile on my face this whole
Linda
scene. It was fun.
Lovelace.
That maybe she shows up in the next episode or something,
It's
right? Like you never
surprised
know with this show,
With
they've
right?
William
done
H.
that
Macy.
before.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Oh, that would be great. Maybe
Oh
he's Xavier.
man.
That would be great.
What a movie, man. What a movie that was. Anyway, we get some more fun scenes here. Jim and Nina get to chop it up a little bit secretly. Like Ando mentioned, the housekeeper telling her to make the men wait a little bit longer. And then we also get her getting the P.O. box of Big Head.
Big
Um,
Head. Todd and the Monster.
while while Flea angrily mugs.
Yes.
He knows something's up with Nina. But so Genesis ends up giving Nina a ride, which I thought was pretty cool.
Hmm.
And kind of gets her on her side, but it's a similar story with Genesis and wanting more and all that kind of stuff.
And
So
Nina just fed her perfectly. I mean,
yeah,
she was buying in, and on 10 minutes there, she was that right. She was already okay. I get it now, and completely bought into Nina's stuff. So I thought that was pretty
yeah,
great too. It's a
Two
good
it
scene
obser
for
was
Rachel Hilson.
definitely.
two observations. One, it felt like an awesome outtake from Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. It should have been in there.
Yeah, because Genesis car is awesome too.
Yeah, and just their
Yeah.
banter. But like I was like I like lost myself for a second. Not only because of the hotness that's in the car, and I was sweating a little bit. But I was like, man, what if they were both cops and ready to like bust down? Like I felt like this could have been a different show. I was like, oh man, I just loved the two of them together. So
Yeah, it was great. It was
yeah,
great. But it was a good message too, because
right,
her message was like, I thought I had to be my father, but I have to be myself. He's going to love me best if I continue to be me. Now, how Genesis is going to take this, I don't know. But I thought that that was kind of interesting because we're coming towards the end of the season. That has been Genesis' struggle. She wants to get in with her dad, but then we also see her take control by taking Daphne from the wedding. But then that caused problems with Greek Sal, which they're still trying to figure out, right? As Sax mentions, that's still an issue. So, has she really helped her father out? You know what I'm saying? Kinda, but she gave him a problem too.
Yeah.
She prevented those two families from joining together, but she created a problem, and he continues to bring along Big Head and want him to be involved in shit instead of her.
Yep.
So, what does it mean to be yourself? People
Yeah.
can take that information differently, is all I'm trying
right.
to say.
Hmm.
Rachel, I should say Nina might mean one thing, but then Genesis acts in a different way. Then we get the great scene at home with Izzy, Dr. Dave, and Luna. She
No,
worked.
we saw that Grant was watching those two too, Genesis and Nina as well. Agent Grant was at the hotel
Yes,
when Nina
great.
gets dropped off, so
Dropped off.
he's.
Yeah.
That guy's just hanging out at that hotel. It's getting a little creepy.
I don't think he's a very good FBI agent. I think he's just.
My
Oh,
wife goes, is he working on any cases or anything?
it feels like the Florida Project or something. He's just hanging out at the hotel.
Just
Like, what are
hanging
you
out.
doing in there, dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, who was in that again? Who was the
Willem Dafoe?
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Um, so this is a great scene too because I like the way when Doc opens up the door and he's like, "They're about to get in it," and Jim's like, "Well, let me get
Yeah,
involved,
just
friend."
walks right past him. Yep.
It
Yep,
was it
that's
was
good.
kind of it was a
What did I
very
do?
yeah,
Like the
but it was like a
typical Josh.
subtle power move too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
like what you are trying to warn me about. I love these two. So
Yeah.
I want to get involved in this.
I'm still the
And
man here is kind of the vibe I got.
exactly.
It's
Yeah, I'm
like
still going to be involved in it,
you
which
might be here,
that's,
but I'm still a big part of this. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
we still,
I tell you, this was such a Luna episode.
yeah,
Yeah, she
Her
was awesome.
delivery on certain, I mean, I chuckled. I was like, I just love her voice, her cadence.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, this is like, she's like the gem of the show, like that undiscovered gem that's now discovered. Uh,
Yeah.
but like, literally, you know, I told her fight fire with fire, not literally, And then she's kind of saying she storms off to her room, is kind of quoting her mom, sort of, on like
Yeah.
what she's going. And it was like, she's just like, it was
yeah,
good.
the
It
whole
was
scene
good.
was great. It was fun.
And
And
a
Dr.
mention of
Dave,
the fire
oh,
too, a
God.
mention of the comic book. With they had brought up that comic book again. That's why she got suspended from summer camp, but she burned the comic book that we had talked about a few episodes back. I was interesting that they brought the comic book back up again, but
Yeah, I know.
that's
And
still sitting in the back of my head. I
All
don't.
right, take it
is it from the
easy.
future?
Take it easy.
We'll see. But part of the scene too is also that Dr. Dave actually, well, he offers, but then he ends up, we see later that he does get her back into the summer camp that she's kicked out of because he knows people. But it's interesting, right? Because that's like the two sides of society
Mhm.
where when Dr. Dave does that, it's cool, it's okay. It is bribery,
Yep.
right? But it's cool. He's just, he knows somebody. But
Yeah,
when Jim does something, it's criminal and it leads to the kid burning comic, right? So it's kind of like it's an interesting line that they're making. I like that writing because it made me think about that too. I was like, that's both kind of shifty. They're both that way. Maybe
that's a
that's what,
great point,
Yeah.
Axel. How they
maybe she
both,
likes that in Dr.
yeah,
Dave, you know?
yeah. She's probably, I mean, she's a trucker. been around hoodlums.
Yeah.
So with Dr. Dave, do you think he's just a nice guy trying to date a woman, whatever, or do you think there's any ulterior motives or anything? I'm trying to like figure out is because he seems like a good guy. Is he just a good guy,
I
or
I think he is a good guy. He's too goofy to not goofy in a wholesome way. I besides the mustache, I don't think there's any.
Well, guys, there is some,
he's from the future?
I don't know if he's from the future, but he is a doctor. And as we saw in this episode, there is something being prescribed to people, and there is the asylum, the institution or whatever we're going to call
Yeah.
it. So
And if I
there,
remember right, when the institution, they said that over half the inmates there are prescribed by doctors that are not from here.
that's what I'm saying is
There
the
was a line
fact
about that.
that's all. And also, you have to think of the casting, right, Solo? I mean, we know this actor.
Yeah, the Law and Order
He's
effect. Yeah.
he's right. Like, why is he there? Is he really just there to be the good guy, or is he going to have a bigger? He's part of the conspiracy. So I could see Dr. Dave maybe prescribe some LSD to some people. But I guess we'll see. For now, though, it was a fun scene. And we get back to Awan and Nina.
Hold
This
on,
is,
there's one other thing on that scene
oh,
before you get out of there.
please.
Izzy has a line to Jim because Jim says, "Well, why didn't you tell me about this?" And she says, "There's a lot I don't tell you, Jim." I
Mm.
thought that was an
Ah,
important line too.
yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
obviously more to that coming.
I felt
I
that that
think.
was I
You
felt
thought
that
that was
that was
just a screw
maybe
you?
maybe a little bit of a like hey, the doc was here before you came in. You know
Okay.
what I mean? A little bit like I have another life now, like you're
Yeah.
gonna have
Well,
to accept that,
that's
you
true.
know?
That's true.
But I mean with this show you never know,
You know,
right?
you know how I like to read into things.
You
Well,
do?
it's good. That's why we
I
do this
know,
podcast.
never.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sexually
so
aroused, Commander.
whew, we get back to Awan and Nina. Now, this is kind of their split, right? Where they go on this little adventure to track down. At first, I don't know if I understood what was happening. So I did what I like to do, which is I trusted the show, right? Like Big Head explains, Royce, that there's a constant message being broadcast with coordinates where they do pickups, right? So at
Yep.
any time when there's needs to be a pickup or a drop off, they know where to put it or to pick it up, right?
Yep.
In this case, it was the $1 million that was used to purchase what we find out at the end of the episode is the missing 18 minutes of the Nixon tapes. But
Hmm.
we didn't know that until that point. But that's what she's trying to do. They're trying to find the source of it so then they can find out perhaps through that person who gave the $1 million
Yeah.
to to sell this,
Correct.
who had this briefcase before, right?
Yep.
And what they're doing is they're driving around and basically narrowing in where they get the frequency. We got it here, 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 so it must be in the middle here,
Yeah. Yeah. They're using
right?
that antenna to narrow down where the signal is being broadcast from,
Okay.
and
And then they
you
can
can kind of track it
triangulate.
that way. Basically, yeah.
The listening station?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I was gonna
Yes.
say. This had such lost shit to it. Come on. The
Yep.
guy's just doing numbers 21.5, and I'm like, holy
Yes.
shit.
And they have to go through a hatch
8,
down into the basement
16,
that's
16,
Yeah, but
not supposed to be in Arizona.
32,
I tried to play those numbers on the lottery and they
15,
don't take
16,
negative
21.
numbers, so
Yeah.
it
Um,
was kind of
I have a lottery ticket actually. I could go grab it where I played the numbers last week. I like to play the lost numbers all the time.
I used to do that.
Yeah, because to me they're lucky numbers. Because if you know how the show ends, it's actually kind of lucky, right? Like Hurley is good,
The
Hmm.
right? He's
only
a good
thing
guy.
is in California with that, you can't make 42 the
Oh, 42 can't be
magic
a.
number. It's
Right. Oh, the
not high enough.
multiplier or whatever.
Or the what is it? What
Yeah.
the hell do I call
See,
it? What are
here in
the
Oregon, you can do it. You can do all
yeah,
the
you can't
numbers
do it in
straight out.
Cali.
Yep.
You have to put 42 in the five numbers and then
Yeah.
one of them.
Well, I think it
Yeah.
depends if it's like Powerball, Mega Ball, this a
Mega
ball,
Mil
that
yeah,
a
we have Mega
ball,
Yeah.
Millions and the
you
Cal
know?
Lottery. I can't remember anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, they
Anywho.
they're writing it down. Awan, it turns out, is a knows like this is what he used to do on the res,
Calls himself a
Fox
fox
Hunter.
hunter.
a
Yeah.
fox hunter,
He's like, this
right?
shit is my bag. I laughed when he
Yeah,
says that. It's just
I like that. We're
yeah.
finding
I
out new
love the
things
way
about
people
him.
talk in this show.
And we also get our favorite crooked FBI guy who likes to hang out at hotels getting a message from the man in the cowboy hat saying he better find out everything that Nina's doing. And Nina also gets a heads up from Kelly that he's doing what he's doing.
Well, and he tells him never leave your sight. So evidently he just overrides all the stuff with you think Abbott would start to get pissed off like why aren't you doing anything? You're just follow I that whole situation is weird. The cow
Yeah.
I want to know more about the cowboy and what he actually is.
That's okay to me because I feel like he could be covered. You know, things happen
Oh,
off
I'm
screen,
fine I'm fine
right?
with it. We're
Yeah.
gonna find out more about Cowboy Guy. I have no doubt of
See,
that.
I
But
like that too. Like how Nina ended up at Sax's house, which we didn't talk about, which was because Royce showed up at her hotel room,
yeah,
right? So what was she supposed to do? She was still playing the undercover till her plane was supposed to leave, just in case like they needed her again or whatever.
yeah.
And he shows up, but that happened off screen. So again,
I
I like when things are written
I
off
think what I
screen.
want, I guess I think what I want is that now we've seen Grant just chasing her around for multiple days. I want Abbott to be like, "What have you been doing the
Yeah,
last few days?" And him
maybe
not
it'll
having
happen.
it. I would love to see that because I really
Yeah,
don't think Grant is a good agent.
yeah.
Yeah, unless Grant has got special, he's who knows.
Yeah,
Abbott
yeah, some
might.
free pass or something. Yeah,
Yeah. The only thing too, and I'm sure you guys have thought of this, but like with Nina going undercover with Saxon and just kind of parading around town as an FBI agent and an undercover. I mean, of course, Billy, sees Grant and her talking, but I don't know. I just feel like it's when you're undercover like that, you really shouldn't be because I don't know the dynamics of the city and the different locations, but it just feels like she could get spotted at any time. I don't know.
Yeah, I know,
It's
I know.
just
I think that
Yeah,
goes back to one of those first episodes when they keep telling her you don't know everything. You're acting cocky and you're
yes.
taking
right.
unnecessary risks. That's what I keep remembering that
And
conversation because that's what she's doing. You're
and
100%
guys,
right,
don't
Steve.
forget later in the episode when her and Awan break into the house where the numbers are being broadcast from, he says that. He says to her, if one of Saxon's crew is here, you're cooked or
Yeah, yeah,
you're going to be in trouble. And I think that's good writing too, because then
that
it's like,
is.
okay, you're speaking to what we're thinking. And, because one of the things that this show has established early on is that everybody knows everybody. When Jim goes to the wedding, they're like, oh, it's fucking you, right? Like,
Yeah,
so people know each other. So she could get like recognized, which
yeah,
we shall see.
and of course it's to her disadvantage, unfortunately, when they describe her, oh, the FBI agent who's African American, and it's like there's there's only one. So it's kind of like, man, she's against the odds there with just
Yeah.
getting notice. Of course, now, we saw at the end what happened, but I was just like so like, and every time her and Awan go to check on a lead, something bad. Abbott's probably just like at this point. Wait, you went to the mental institute. You
Yeah.
go here and it blew up. He had a grenade. Like Abbott's
Yeah.
about to have a coronary a
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. We kind of she did get a talking to by him too.
few
Um,
times.
so we get a nice conversation. Xavier and Jim are on their way to Vegas.
Ezra,
Um,
Ezra.
oh, I'm sorry,
We haven't
Ezra.
met Xavier yet.
I'm gonna and that the reason why I say that is because the conversation is going great. And he's giving him some info about his brother too, and their history, and him trying to get into Vegas, but the Italians didn't want to let him in, and then Jim is like, he's like, I met a lot of important people. It's like Xavier, And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
just get the fuck there.
Just drive.
Make
Yeah.
sure we're not late. Shut up. And then they're having a little chat. And of course, Luna's in the trunk, um, which I thought this was great too, because I love how she spills the beans about her mom, right? Like everything just kind of comes out. I like how that develops. That was great.
Were you guys surprised that she was in the trunk? I kind of had a feeling that she had probably done that when we saw that she wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a done deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
I
I'm glad I'm
just,
not the only one.
Yeah.
I totally,
I
the
loved it.
banging,
So,
when the banging was happening, I've been watching that Long Way Home with Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman, and Ewan McGregor's motorcycle starts making a noise like that, and they keep on having to get it fixed. So I immediately just thought something was wrong with his car. And then when she
Um,
was there, I was like, this is going to be fun. I was very happy that she was in the trunk.
yeah. You're very happy a young girl's in the truck. No, but I know what you mean. I'm kidding.
This is a
Uh,
BTK. That's around the couch. So
yeah. Real quick, the I'm not gonna say the housekeeper that works at the FBI that gave Nina the tip, like, hey, Grant's been going through your desk. Um,
yep.
like originally, I wasn't sure if she was a plant to get to know her, so it kind of looks like I
Yeah,
think she's
Kelly, I
just a
think her name
normal.
is. Yep.
Yeah, I think she's just probably
yeah,
just a
I agree.
normal
Yep, I agree
looking
too.
out for her. When she says you'll be a great agent someday, she kind of smirks like, "Oh, you think So that's nice. And then of course, the song excuse me, Sunny, playing by Bobby. I think it's Hebb.
Sunny,
Oh, what a great song.
you don't have to worry.
Sunny. Hey, just
That's
wanted to
it,
say
solo. That's
that.
all we
That's
get.
it. I just wanted to make sure we didn't
That's all we
forget that.
get. No, no, no. All right. I thought maybe you had the
Oh,
lyrics or something
no, I'm trying to cut down on that.
on the singing.
Not really.
Oh, I
I just
like what you
I
say.
just realized I love the song and I don't know a lot of the lyrics, so I don't want to
Yeah.
start making stuff up.
Something other time and friendly,
There it
baby.
is.
Sunny,
You came
sunny.
along and opened my eyes or something like that, right? Oh, Sonny, I love you.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. Nice.
sunny. Oh, that's all.
Oh, okay. Um, so yes, I like the way that Luna spills the beans. And again, this is where Sax is like listening to her, right? Like,
Hmm.
because he's actually thinking to himself, yeah, you're right, but this is fucking up my thing. So how can we, so, like, it becomes an actual thing. He doesn't just say, shut up, little kid, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I like him. And so I know all these stories we hear of him, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like something else, there's another story there. Anyway, long story shorty, Nina and Awan go on do a nice little chase, and they lose. Agent doesn't have a
Grant.
job. Grant, I know,
Grant.
but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
come up with
Okay.
a new
Yeah.
funny thing to call him every time.
Okay.
Um, and
We need Jim to meet him so then Jim will give him a funny nickname that we can
yes,
use. I
exactly.
don't think Jim has
What
met
should be
him
his
yet.
nickname? Grimace or
Yeah.
something? I don't know. Anyway, long story short, oh, we also get a fun
Gunsmoke,
little Gunsmoke?
like from Gunsmoke. He looks like one of
Yeah,
the.
but
But
that's almost like
I
a could be like a compliment though, right? It has to
mm,
be like
it's got to be more
what's a 70s sitcom cop who was like dumb or
Starsky and
something?
Hutch or
No, like dumb.
oh,
Like
dumb.
you could make fun
Barney
of him.
Miller.
Ro-
Oh
No,
no,
Barney Miller
what's
wasn't
the guy?
dumb.
Roscoe from this is Dukes of
Dukes
Hazzard?
of
Yeah,
Hazzard.
Roscoe?
that was 80s more. That was
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that
was
like
late
was.
late
You're
'70s,
right. That
early
was.
'80s.
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
thinking of like private, like wasn't there an old show like Don
Well, there was
Knotts was
McHale's
something?
Navy.
There
There
you go,
was
like McHale, yeah,
Oh my
well,
like
God.
Barney
something like that.
Fife is
Barney
Yeah.
Fife, there you
Yeah.
yeah,
go.
There you go.
that's Andy Griffith's show.
Yeah.
Come on, man, what
All
the
right, there
fuck?
you go.
It took three almost 50 because I'm giving Andy a break here. Year old guys that long to come up with Barney Fife. Thank you,
Oh,
Solo.
I didn't know you were looking for that.
No, but I think I was. I don't know. I don't know. That's why
No,
you
I
had to
think you
that's
were.
why you had to come up with it because I don't even
Oh,
know what I was coming up with. We get a very it's always funny when we get to see mom and dad um, hanging out. So Wade is looking at his new toilet that Charlotte has thrown.
Oh
This
boy.
was like a
It
now
looks like a
bunny.
dead sheep. Yes.
Yeah, this was funny. I like this a lot. There's
Yes.
also a poster if you see, because remember during our interview that I'm not mentioning, when they go downstairs, there's a poster in the background that I guess the props department made, Charlotte Deluxe,
Yes.
and it's her. I guess it's
Her
her,
show
right?
from back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like her
Bear
playbill or yeah.
Yeah.
all ballet bubble dance, 25 all-star exotics, open 7 nights, $4 it was, but it's a nice poster.
Well,
$4.
and when Charlotte starts doing the if Wade's a good boy, I'll do the Dr.
Yeah,
Zhivago on the run thing. I was
yeah.
Running
dying
for the
laughing. It was
communists.
so great.
This
Yes.
whole scene was great. He goes, "Da."
He's desperate to be nursed back to
The
health.
da
It's
at
just
the end
great.
after she does the Russian voice.
This was great. This was see, that's why this
Charlotte's
show is
come
fun.
around up for
Yeah.
me.
That's
You know what, Solo? Thank you. Because when they first introduced the character, right, she was just fighting with Jim, and she seemed like
And
she was
made the
just,
call to
yes, thank you. And it seemed like she was just going to be a distraction or
yeah.
someone that, like a chaos agent.
A foil for
A
Jim.
foil,
Yeah.
thank you. But then they bring
yeah.
her in. She gives Nina the talk about acting. This scene, she plays a lot. She knows what's happening, and so she plays
Right
along
away,
with
she
it.
doesn't
Yep.
hesitate.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're in
So I
on it.
like that. Yep.
Now, do you think I was about to say Barney, Wade, um, do you think because he to drop that whole I got an interpreter for an Estonian for whatever, do you think he thought ahead or he just came up with that?
I think
I
it's
bet
a
he
little
thought
bit of
ahead.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the instincts and you kind of have it already working. You know what I'm saying? You always have a backup plan
And
to
he's
tell
got
somebody.
that giant Rolodex. I bet he does have somebody that he
Yeah.
knows of that's
Yeah.
that way. The what was it?
Right.
Oh, before we got
So,
off of Charlotte, one of the other things I love that was a really subtle thing when Billy shows up and I remember thinking, wow, she's a bitch with Jim, but she says the same exact thing. What is it with you people? Nobody calls ahead. So that's like a thing it's
yeah.
like very consistent for her character. It's not just that she has a vendetta against Jim. That's just part of her how she is. I just and also relate to that because I kind of hate when people just show up. So I don't know. Just a small little note that I really liked that character too.
Yeah,
So sorry.
I agree.
Did Solo
I
freeze? I think Solo froze.
Oh, I thought he was just doing his Sarper imitation. Should I drop him and make him come back? Hold on. I can drop him, I think. Yeah. I'm going to remove you, Solo, and then you'll come back because I don't think you can hear us. Oh, he can't rejoin. No, I want him to be able to rejoin. All right. Well,
Oh,
we're
you
doing
go
this live.
kick
Oh,
him out and ban him. Nice.
no, he's coming back. He did it
Yeah,
himself. He
yeah.
heard
I know.
us.
Oh, he did.
Um,
Okay, perfect.
You're right. And it's great that I like that they've allowed this character to evolve, Charlotte, and we
Hmm.
get this great stuff in this scene. It was so fun. But Billy doesn't really believe. It's like he believes it, but he doesn't really believe it.
Well, and he just walks right past them, goes right
Yeah.
down to the basement, doesn't even be like, "Excuse me, can I get in?" Just walks in like he owns the place. I was like, "Wow, this is yeah,
Yep.
it's just fascinating character."
Well, remember he did that in the first, what was that? The first or second episode when he was with Jim. He has a tendency to do that. He just walks right in and
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
just
fuck it. I like this
does what
guy.
he wants.
This character is more. You're back, Solo. How
Yeah.
you
I'm
doing?
back. Sorry about that. Interweb problems. The
It's okay. It's
1972.
okay.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
It was frozen, and I compared you to our friend Sarper from 90 Days. You're kind of looking a little Sarperish,
Hey,
Solo.
me and him going to the gym together.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Get a little skunk patch going on.
So sorry.
Anyway, so we continue with Luna trying to convince Sax, and we get a nice scene with Izzy and Bob. And it was during this scene when the union boss Bob gets really close up to Izzy's face that I was reminded of the pictures that Jim has because that was kind of one of the pictures. Like, it's just like he was getting like all up in the face. and it was kind of funny. So that was this I like, but it's also we get the call. We get the call that Bob wants to speak to her, right? Earlier on in the Dr. Dave scene.
Yep.
Do you feel that was supposed to ratchet up the tension a little bit? Like, oh, she might get Bob might take her out, or maybe Billy's gonna be there. Because the Billy scene is right before that. Then we go to Sax and Luna conversation in the car. So there is time that, oh, Billy could have been. Did you guys think that at all or no?
I didn't think something bad was going to happen to her necessarily, but I figured somebody from Sax's organization would be there
Okay,
to
yeah,
try and scare her or do. I figured there would be more than just him showing up with his, what does he call it, his cocktail cart and
yeah,
offering
yeah,
her a drink. And all. I was not expecting him to actually try and bribe her first.
So yeah, because
yeah.
I was leaning towards that. Now I know the strike is hurting Saxon's routes or whatever. What is he? I'm trying to think because they're gonna blackmail Temple now to fix the
Right.
situation. But I thought Temple was working for Sax. Like, what is it? Just a
I
separate thing? I was a little
No, he's not
confused.
I don't think he's working for Saks. I think he's a free agent. And you know
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like he
yeah, they
might be
just have a
open to
real
bro. Go
yeah,
ahead.
they have a
Exactly.
relationship, but it's not like he's an employee. They have a
Exactly.
relate
Okay,
because
so
he's
he's
the head
not
of the union.
connected. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's open to bribes and or blackmail in this case because
yep,
he is an underworld figure that we
yeah.
see, right? That's how he runs his union. But it was that Sachs felt like his only method was to go after the people protesting. Now, as we see, after listening to Luna and Jim, he realizes, oh, okay, I already have leverage on the union guy, and maybe it can help me in other ways too.
Yeah,
Right.
because the head of he's going to take the best offer from whichever side he sees. So sometimes he's going to be the villain to the union workers because he's not going to do what they want. Sometimes he has to still have to negotiate with Saxton for shipping costs and all that stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
depending on whoever gives him the most favorable offer, he's going to be the enemy to that person or
So if
friend to that person.
Bob Temple gave to Izzy's demands, does that affect Saxon in any way?
It might be, it might, he's one of many truckers, so perhaps like overall prices may go up a little bit because the
Oh, I see.
union
Got
has to
it.
pay
Yeah,
for
Right.
better wages and and
yeah, they could
bathrooms.
charge the union could charge Saxton for more
Exactly.
Ah,
So
okay.
charging for
Okay.
because
That's
right,
services.
that answers
I
my
think we're being a
Yeah,
little
question.
bit technical, but yes, I understand
okay.
where you're coming from, Solo, because it is hard to understand what where the power lies in all that dynamics,
I
but I
actually
think
thought that
that's
it,
what it
yeah,
would be.
I thought
Yeah.
the same thing at first. So I was
I
like, doesn't he kind of, and I had to think about it for quite a while and
Me
how
too.
the union
Me too.
negotiations would go
Yep.
with both sides. And
Well, because one thing I got thrown because Bob said, okay, to Izzy an episode or two ago was like, it's not just it's you're gonna piss off a lot of dangerous, or I don't know if you
You're
said
right.
dangerous, but people that you don't want to piss off. So
Yeah.
that's why I was a little, but
Because it's
okay,
not just Sachs, right? Like by doing this
right.
also, Sachs could get himself in a predicament where another underworld boss who uses truckers says, motherfucker, I didn't want to pay extra for these people.
yep,
Right,
Why are
right.
you
yeah,
blackmailing the union boss?
yeah,
Right? So this could, I mean, as with all we know, because we're in the underworld ourselves as podcasters,
we are the
but
underworld.
We're so
like
under.
right. We made a deal with
Yeah.
Evan Agee. The next thing you know, we got to pay it back. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's going to happen there, folks.
You never know.
You never know. Just
That's all, folks.
get the right lottery ticket. You'll be okay.
Hey,
Um,
Sonny.
yeah. And it ends up that Bob just kind of threatens her again, right? Like he's just like, you're going to be in trouble. So it is a bit of a repetitive scene between those two, but we do have growth in that finally the thing we've been talking about, which is the blackmail, the compromise that they have on him is now coming into play.
Right.
So then we get the extended scene of Awan and Nina breaking into the house, um, well, looking around for it, breaking into the house. Nina sees where everything is being broadcast from, and Awan finds the LSD Well, that's a little bit later, but it's part of what they do.
Yeah.
Finds the LSD there. And we get also at the same time, Sax and Jim and Luna pull up at the hotel. What was the hotel again? It was the
The
Solo might remember.
No,
Desert
you
Inn.
know,
Yeah, Desert Inn.
there's a
Yeah.
I want to say the Hotel Capri that's in
Oh,
Glendale.
but I think that
The Glen Capri, they used it in Mosquito Coast, that Apple
wasn't the
show.
Desert Inn in like Ocean's 11 or so. It doesn't exist anymore, right? Like it
Yeah,
was
it
an
does
Right.
old
not.
That
one.
Yep. Yep. It
Yeah,
was an
that's
old one.
very old Hollywood,
Yeah.
which they show, which I loved because it was like, oh my God, no
Yeah.
New York, no win.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like old school
And I thought the
Rat Pack
way
Hollywood.
they put the CGI car into the shots of Vegas was great.
It worked because I was trying to think, how did they do this?
Yeah.
Like, and
It looked good.
yeah. But I love Luna's face too, because she see this kid living in Arizona. I was about to say New Mexico, that's where they shoot. But is seeing Vegas for the first time. And I remember when I saw Vegas for the first time, driving
Me too.
and going around the bend, because when I was moving to the West Coast, and then you see nothing, then all of a sudden you see the lights of Vegas, and you're just like, oh my God, that's Vegas. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm sure as a kid, even seeing all this is like, wow. It's like Disney
Yeah.
World.
It's cool. I remember the first time I went to Vegas, I was on a plane coming from New York, and the person sitting next to me, I was like looking out the window, and they're like, "Watch, all you're gonna see is desert, then you're gonna see Vegas." And I'm looking out the window, and that's exactly, I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit, it is! It's
It's
like in the middle of the
amazing when you
fucking
see it.
desert."
Yeah. When you're driving to it from another, or you're up above, it's
Yeah.
like it's a whole different concept.
It's like whose idea was to put this here? Well, we know. Sax was telling
Bugsy.
us. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
sucks.
Anyway, they pull up. Um, they give the keys. I think Jim gives the keys reluctantly for the car, and they meet with Howard Hughes' body man or his associate,
We
who
Private
also
tells
see
investigator.
that we see that two of Sal's guys are watching outside too, waiting.
yes. Now
Well, when Jim walks
No,
in,
no,
I think they're Mad Raoul's guys.
they say
no,
at the
they're
point
Sal's
they
guys.
call Sal later,
Yeah, they call
and they say
Sal
on the
later.
phone, "Sal,
Yeah,
we found whatever."
Wait, that was Sal's voice?
yeah.
Okay, I could have sworn, and maybe this is me inventing it, that I heard the actor Raymond Cruz's voice, and they're Mad Raoul's guys.
The I'll find it here, but
I'm
when we
pretty
see
sure
them,
they
They
were
oh, they
Greek
are?
Sal's.
Okay.
yep.
Yeah,
Really?
because
Afterwards, when they call from the rotary car phone that they have after Jim leaves, and the one guy calls and says, "Hey Sal, some of the guys just left with the briefcase."
Uh,
yeah,
damn
yeah.
it.
And also I recognize them because they were at the wedding. They
Ah,
were the
crap.
other two
All
guys
right.
at the wedding.
I
There was
had
a
this
scene
whole
when all
thing, Mad
four of the
Raoul
guys were
theory.
together.
Raymond Cruz
Yeah.
is playing Mad Raoul. I could have sworn that was his voice on the.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Jesus.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
done. I'm done.
Oh,
Uh,
Solo's
I
out.
would like to see Mad Raoul though. I forgot we haven't
Oh,
heard
we
about him in a
will.
while.
We will. That car is coming back. It was
Yeah,
mentioned for a reason again by Howard Hughes.
yeah,
That
for
car is
sure.
coming back.
Yeah,
Um, but yes, for a second, I recognized the guy with the beard from the wedding because I remember he was with those other guys who died, who are now dead,
who are dead? Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So they're the other guys.
Damn it.
Um,
Son of a bitch.
we get a
that
lot of
was a
great
good
music, a
Sawyer
lot of great
impression. If you
music.
try, yeah, I thought so.
A lot of great music in this episode too. Just keep mentioning that. We get a they're walking in. The guy says, "What, you got to wash your hands 4 times. Don't touch him." All these things we've heard of before, and when we saw Leonardo play him too in The Aviator. Um, we get a quick little scene where Billy is bribing a woman in Sax's office to find out more information about Nina, and he gives her tickets to Ziggy Stardust,
Oh
which I thought
boy.
was cool.
I was like, damn, I would look that
Yeah,
shit up if you gave me tickets to
And
Bowie.
Yeah.
he actually did play in Phoenix November 4th of that year. So like 3 or 4 months
You
Wow.
after
kidding
this.
me?
Yep, I looked up the Ziggy Stardust tour, and November 4th and 5th he
Damn.
played in Phoenix at the
Yeah.
Celebrity Theater in
That's due
1972.
diligence.
But he also due diligence is Billy following up on is there an Estonian fur dealer or
Fur
whatever,
dealer.
right?
Yep.
Going
Yep.
that, so still following the lead, still following it. I
Still,
like that.
yeah.
Then we get the great scene at a little bit of the scene at Howard Hughes. I guess we should just basically talk about what happens
Yeah.
at the Howard Hughes, and then we can kind of talk about what was going on with Nina at the same time, what all the shit that they found too. But I like this stuff. I think it's so interesting the way Howard Hughes knows Joey. Like I
That's
did not expect any of that.
No.
I want a flashback episode of how
I
Ezra and
know.
Howard
I
Hughes
have that in my
hooked
notes,
up.
Ando.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want
perfect.
a 2 episode Joey. They've built up
Yes.
Joey as the coolest freaking
I
guy
know.
on like on the
Yeah.
face of the earth. I want it, and I'm like cooler than Jim, but they're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
it.
I'm ready to see like George Clooney or something in a flashback with as Joe. I mean, it's yes. I the whole time like, oh my God, I want more of that. I want to see this so bad.
You know who it reminds me of? It reminds me of Jax's dad in Sons of Anarchy, how they were always talking about him and he was
Yes,
right, like, and I was always like,
the
oh, we want
original
to see his
6 or
dad,
whatever.
the Irish connection, all this kind of shit. And in this too, it's like Joey was just into he was going to be, and now we're seeing that when Sachs was saying to him he was second, he was next in line, right? He really meant it. Like he was in on stuff,
Yeah,
and not only in on stuff, he's in on some CIA shit.
Yeah.
And he's saying that's where we get the title of the episode, K-129, which is that he is this thing that, what was it, Ando? You probably have it
The
better to
K-129.
explain. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Russian sub that sank in 1968, and the CIA wanted to recover it. They actually did partially recover some of it in 1974. It's an actual sub that sank. So
and
that
Hughes, they wanted Hughes to.
they wanted Hughes to do a James Cameron and go down and get it.
So this is, he compares Joey to this mission too, right? Like it's,
Hmm.
what did you take of that comparison? What do you think that means?
Oh boy. Solo, I got to compose my thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I don't have any thoughts to compose, so I'll just go right ahead. Um, yeah, see, okay, so what is the link with Joey and the CIA? Why would the CIA have him killed, according to Howard Hughes now? This is you kind of like, and I'm just like thinking, like, how deep was he an informant? Was he working for someone, then flipped and decide like his loyalty to Saxon? So the CIA killed him, or vice versa. Like, there's so many little things here. I'm just, I like even Jim's shocked. CIA, like what? Like, so I'm kind of more confused, I think. Because I just, wiped my ass 4 times, licked my armpit 4 times, and then
Oh,
oh
well,
wait, what?
I'm looking at it right now. He says, what the CIA did with your brother, that was a K-129.
Yeah.
Um, it
Sunken
messed.
sub?
He's saying that the CIA, what did the CIA do? It was them that took him out. It's always been them. That they killed Joey, and that he said that the K-129 was a ruse that brought down it obsessed him and brought down the pillars of his life.
Yeah,
So this
somehow the
is,
CIA screwed over Hughes with
yeah,
this K-129, and
Right.
he's calling Jim or Joey the 129 because they did the same thing to him. I think is kind of he
Yeah,
yeah,
sees
so
it
I'm
in the
like,
same
well, how
light.
deep was Joe?
yeah.
Was it? I mean, if it's true, like, there's got to be something way more about Joey than just being the next to Ezra and being a criminal.
I love it. I think it's fucking
Did he?
bonkers.
Do we know if did Joey do fight in the war? Do they
Yeah,
mention that?
that's the
Right,
dog tags. He was in
right,
Vietnam.
right.
We
Yeah.
talked about
So
that, and he stares
yeah,
at
no,
them
I know we
too in
did. I
this
just couldn't
episode.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's a good
I'm
look
old.
that he gives them. I was saying it's a nice Josh Holloway was like driving. He's like, oh, Yeah, look at those dog tags. Those are my brothers.
That's
Remember, we're
right. That's
talking about
right.
them now. Um, so yeah, I think it's cool. They're building something up here, and we didn't
Yeah.
talk about what was in the briefcase was what purports to be the famous missing part of the Nixon tapes. The missing Nixon audio, 18.5 minute gap on a White House tape recording from June 20th, 1972, during the Watergate scandal. And obviously, we keep continually hearing about Watergate whenever there's a TV
Yeah.
And
playing, a radio.
the
Obviously, this is going on at the same time.
I don't know how I didn't see this way back when I think it was one of the I think you weren't on it with us solo, but was when Howard Hughes was first mentioned, and I had done a bunch of research on Hughes where he was at the time. There, I found this other
I was
article
there.
last night. Were you on that one? I couldn't remember if you were.
Just the last one is the only one I've missed.
Okay, okay. Well, either way,
Ando doesn't even know I'm on the pod, Axel. Look at that.
It's hard when you're Dustin.
well,
I'm just
talked
freaking
about
eye
Howard Hughes.
candy.
Talked about Howard Hughes a lot. For some reason, I thought you weren't on that one. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Oh,
Um,
man.
There supposedly is a tie between Howard Hughes and Richard Nixon in real life. There was one. And I found this 60 Minutes thing from 2005, so 20 years ago. But supposedly, one of the people that worked closely with Hughes said the whole Watergate thing was because Hughes had tried to bribe Nixon with a bunch of money, and Nixon was trying to make sure that the Democratic Party didn't have evidence of that payoff from Hughes to
Oh,
Nixon.
really?
Yes.
I
There's a
don't know
60
if I
Minutes
ever
CBS thing.
knew that.
I just happened to Google Richard Nixon and Howard Hughes at the same time, and this article came up, and I'm like, whoa, this is
Wow, and
crazy.
I thought I knew a lot of conspiracies and information about Watergate because it was fascinating to me because it is like it's a really
And
weird thing. The things Nixon did was some of the stuff was very
And recording
strange. It was a
everything.
lot
like
deeper than that.
I'm looking at the article here, and it said at one point Hughes made a $200,000 loan to Nixon's brother, Donald. So I mean, there's all kinds
Donald?
of
Oh,
yes,
Donald.
Donald, exactly.
This is really okay. This is interesting stuff, Andy. I didn't know about that.
I
That's
love this
interesting.
stuff. I love
Well,
this
the
Yeah,
conspiracy stuff.
supposedly this 18.5 minute gap on the White House tape recording is a conversation between Nixon and his chief of staff H.R. Haldeman. Nixon administration claimed it was accidental, but it's the what's on the tape has always been uh, what makes it so interesting, right? Like the theories of you're going to keep all this other shit where you're talking about all this illegal shit you did, but you're not going to talk about you're going to erase this 18.5 minutes. Now it sounds to me like they're starting to talk about maybe it's like Bay of Pigs shit. They were talking about Cubans or something like that, or he said some. I don't remember, but that's what it occurred to
we're
me.
gonna tie
That
into
was
the
like,
JFK conspiracy
well,
theories
this
too.
is what I'm trying to say is that what are they going to bring into it? Because
Let's
there are
just go all
people
the
Yeah.
who've
way.
said it was aliens, it was about the Vietnam War, it
Yeah,
was about the bomb, it was about the Soviets, it was about his own personal sex life. And that's why it was taken out. It was a personal thing, right? So there's been all these theories, but from what we hear when they play it, I can't because there is also not a nice word that he uses.
Oh,
yes, for
yes.
Hispanics.
For
Yes,
Hispanic,
Yes,
yes.
but that's what I couldn't remember if there was something else he said, but he said some. I want to try to listen. Oh, wait, here. I want to get
You got the
back.
tapes? Gonna listen?
Protecting the poll. Do you have it down, Andy? What he says is that we've got to get a hold of this thing, the polls. And then
yeah,
he
I do
says that's the
somewhere here.
president. Yeah, this is a hell of an acquisition. Okay, okay, let's see. President's not going to be kicked around. Oh, yeah, see? By a blundering pack of Castro loving you know whats.
Yeah,
So that's it does bring up bury this break-in fiasco and bring me a fucking war I can win.
Right.
So maybe it was something talking about he wanted to go to war with Cuba, or I don't, I'm not. I have to think about it a little, try to figure it out a little bit more.
I wish we
But
had Alex P. Keaton here. He could
yeah,
tell
I know,
us.
right? I thought you were gonna say Alex Hahn,
Well,
but
probably Alex Son's
yeah.
probably better. Yeah.
but I'm just trying to figure out, okay, if what they said is the Russians got a hold of this, right?
Right.
and they figured actually it would be better to sell it for money because what? It didn't have any worth to them. But that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
Well,
What are
and
they going to do with it?
the other thing about that though is that somebody had to have sold it to the Russians. Is that what Xavier did? Is that why he wants the tape back? Or somebody, or the two guys that Nixon talks to in that episode that we saw Nixon a couple
Yeah.
episodes ago? Is it those
Yeah.
were those the two people
So
that?
So
Oh,
was
we're
it
going to get into
was it
that.
give stolen and given to the Russians or
yes,
so
Yes,
right.
someone he said because
stolen and
Hughes
sold to the
says
Russians, I think,
right. He said Hughes says no.
I was gonna
Sachs
say it's
says
something about
dumb
the black market.
motherfucker. He says
Well,
dumb
that's
motherfucker has enemies in the White House. Someone stole it and sold it to the Russians.
okay, did sell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, what the Russian then he says. Let's see, but they knew they could get a better price on the black market, so we bought it. So I guess the
So the Russians sold it on
Russians,
the black market. Okay.
yeah, but it seems to me is like, why wouldn't the Russians use it to expose Nixon? What's going? So Nixon wants it
Yeah.
back. What's really going on? So we'll see what happens. But at this point,
I wonder if we're going to find out what's on the tape. That's what really has me interested. I wonder if we will. I
well,
don't need to, but
it seems they and
I
they
need
say
to.
we have a plan, and something tells me there's a place in it. I'm going to call it Xavier and coordinate the briefcase drop. So they're gonna we see his guys coming out. Obviously, later, the Greek Sal's guys take that. Now they are in possession
Bad
of
Rebels.
this, right? And they
yeah.
thought it, but Hughes and Sachs thought it was going to Xavier. What
Yeah,
were
because
they
they were
get? Right?
yeah, because they were talking like we got a next step is to call Xavier, see what the
Yes.
next step is.
And
So
make a drop. So the
yeah.
drop was to give it to, and when the guys come out, they say, "Are you Xavier?"
Yep. And he's
Howard
like,
Hughes's
no.
guys, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's Greek Sal. So now Greek Sal is in possession of this missing 18 and a half minutes. Xavier doesn't have it. Is that going to get Howard Hughes and Sachs in trouble? But Howard Hughes is like the richest man in the world at this point. So if he can figure out that Greek
And
Sal has it,
and
he could
Hughes
probably
is
get it
also
back.
Hughes is
Yeah.
sequestered up in his own floor that he rents out the whole, so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't think he can be gotten to, but
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. Were you when that was what was in the thing? What did you all think? I thought it was funny.
I
The
I loved
18
it.
minutes.
I loved it because
Yeah,
I remember when we saw Nixon for the time, the first thing I thought was the missing, but I didn't know how it factored.
yeah,
But just and then to see Sachs and how he's just like laughing because they're like rich guys that are just got something that no one. I mean, that's what when you have everything. What do you want the most? Something that no one else can have.
yeah.
And I just found, but I also have to drop since no one's mentioned it yet. But in Howard Hughes, as he calls the station to play whatever he wants on television, it's Bullet, Stevie McQueen, one of my top five favorite
yes.
films of all
I was
time.
waiting for you to.
Thank
I wasn't
you.
gonna steal
I
your
knew
thunder
you.
on that. Solo.
I just when I see clips of Bullet, I'm just like, and
I
then
thought of
Luna's
you the
all into it. I'm like,
second I
Luna's my
saw it. I thought
girl.
of you.
Luna's
Yes.
my girl.
Yes,
I
of
wish that was my
course.
kid.
I thought of you too, Solo. We know Steve
Thank you.
McQueen is my
Thank you.
hero, Solo. But I also mentioned it was a fun opportunity to say to my wife, "Oh, hey, I wonder if they're going to show the clip where the guy gets killed by the car." And she was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know in Bullet, they got a stunt, a cameraman was killed by the stunt driver, and they kept it in the movie as a tribute to the cameraman. They asked his
Yeah. Of
wife, and his wife said, you know the story, so I want you to keep it in the
course.
movie. That's what he would want. He
Yeah.
died for that shot. Don't fucking leave it on the cutting room floor." And it's
Man.
in the movie. That's amazing.
Yeah.
If that was me as a former cameraman, I feel the same exact way, And
It's all about
also,
getting the shot and literally,
and he
yeah.
barely flinched too. Like I think the car probably had to hit him before he moved. And as also a former cameraman, that's how I was too. I have been kicked in the face. I've had my camera kit.
Were you
you
bruised
just,
and battered?
I was on the streets of Philadelphia. I have shot
Da,
on the
na,
streets of
na, na.
Philadelphia.
So was A Huts
Ando's
recently.
like, let's wrap this up. It's getting late, folks. All right, so we end the episode with a quick 3 count. Grant gets the word that has to take out Nina from the man with the cowboy hat. We've gotten to the point, fucking killer. He goes into the armory, or I guess where they keep the evidence
Evidence.
locker, right? He takes a shitty looking gun, which he's probably is planning on using to take out Nina. That does hopefully that's not going to work, and it's going to be hard for him to do that because Nina gets koalaped over the head and taken away forcefully by Billy, who when she is trying to get back into her apartment.
Looked a little. Was it chloroform? Did he put a rag on her face?
I think he did. Maybe he did a
Chloroform
wallop
or
her over the
ether or
head.
I don't think
something.
he
Maybe
hit
he
Yeah.
her. Yeah, I
just
don't think he hit
yeah,
her over
maybe
the
it
head.
wasn't a head
A1 got
wound.
hit over the head.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
poor
we
A1.
skipped the whole thing with Cyrus.
Oh yeah, we should probably. Can we talk
Oh, you
about
are
that?
absolutely right because we said we were going to do that and then go back to it. So let's go back
Yep.
to it.
Yeah.
So Awan and Nina are in the house that's broadcasting. And why don't we get into it? What happens there, folks? They get into a little.
They
He comes home.
well,
Um,
Nina finds the listening station. There's
Right.
a
yep.
basement in Arizona, and A1's like, what? Or
Yeah.
Which I
so
thought was fun because it's always interesting to me what parts of the country, like growing up in New Jersey, in New York,
everyone had
everybody has a
everyone had a
basement, right?
basement.
It's like a lot of rock there, right? From
Well,
when the
anywhere
Ice
where it
Age moved
frosts,
it
you
down.
kind of have to have it anywhere it frosts because
Yeah.
otherwise the foundation of the building will heave up if you don't have a basement that goes below the frost line.
Andy
Oh,
tells me shit that blows my
I
mind.
that
See?
didn't I blow your mind
It
this
did.
time?
And
Yeah,
also,
because
I guess there they can't have a basement because it's like sandy, right?
yeah,
Is that
yep,
why?
and
Desert, yeah.
yep, and like they don't usually in Florida or Louisiana places like that because they're so close to
Cali, we
sea
don't.
level. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when you're that close to sea level, it can cause issues. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so he
We
come
also we find out Cyrus is a former Marine too. That badge that you see, that Nina looks at the badge that she pulls out of one
Oh,
in the
is that what
basement when
that
she's
was,
looking.
Ando?
Yep, it's the first reconnaissance battalion, first reconnaissance
ah
battalion in the U.S. Marine Corps history. Standalone battalion with no parent regiment, falls directly under command of the First Marine Division.
Mm,
Um, Based in San Diego at Camp Pendleton. The TV show Generation Kill that was on HBO a while back. That's based on this
David
same
Simon.
battalion. This one was
oh
also
interesting.
Oh, interesting.
they were this same battalion was at Okinawa in World War II. Was also deployed to Gitmo during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So this has been
Oof.
around. It's been a
This
big deal
is
battalion. It's big
wow.
time. Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. And that also brings us back to both Sax and Wade and
who
Jim.
are also Marines.
I mean Joey, right?
Hmm.
Right.
He is a Marine too. And it's a great he calls, which I think it's the man with the cowboy hat, right? He calls the
Yeah.
man with the cowboy hat and he says, "What about it? Is it the black girl? No, it's some other guy. What about her partner? Me, asshole." And he turns
That
around.
was
That was
great.
great. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
So
good.
he of course goes for his
You know
gun.
what? We
She has
don't
to
know
take
for
him out.
sure that that was the cowboy guy. I don't think we actually saw him, did we? Who was on the other end of that
No,
line? We just
we
heard him.
didn't, but it sounded to me like it was him.
It was him.
Maybe
Okay, I
I'm
couldn't tell
wrong.
for sure, but
Hey, I'm not saying nothing. I thought Raymond Cruz was on the
No,
line.
I think the reason why I said that so confidently is because of the last scene
yeah,
when he tells
it would make
Grant to kill
sense.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's
there was a
getting
cool
too
shot.
close. She's found the LSDs. She's in the house. She's seen what's there. They know about the LSD. They know about the doctor. They know about the message. All this shit, you know. But
There
the
was
thing,
a.
oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. Finish.
No,
Sorry.
but I'm just saying is that this this is also connected to Sax,
Hmm.
right? So that's how they got there. But that doesn't mean that they're the only ones using this drop-off methodology, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
same kind of thing as we were talking about with the union guy. There could be there's other people involved. I don't think that was specifically a Sachs thing. That was working for like all the bad guys.
Mhm.
Right.
Am I right about that?
Or maybe that, I mean, maybe that was a Marine thing too. I mean,
Yeah, because
that they
I'm
learned.
trying to think of when, let me go back when Royce actually tells her about it and tells her about the numbers and all like that. He says something like, we have a thing set up and it's the numbers. But
Yeah.
when he says we, I don't know if he meant, you know,
It actually is just like Lost, a tower
yeah,
that's just broadcasting numbers over and over again. That's all it's doing. Yeah,
The
it's
listening. I was like, the
yeah.
listening. Stay away from
yeah,
Rousseau.
that's
Voice.
the there when she shoots like she says me and drop the gun asshole. There's a really cool shot too where they zoom in on the TV and the TV is off, but
That's
you can
what
see the reflection in the. I thought that was so cool. Very cool
that's what I
camera
was
work.
referencing earlier about the television is, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah, yeah.
I liked that. I liked that shot a lot. I thought, and I know Axel
Oh,
probably feels the same as he. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I'm just saying, I'm sorry, he says me and a buddy of mine. So maybe the thing is that Royce had something to do with this setup and Sachs doesn't. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It could hint towards Royce being involved, but Sachs not knowing, like he set this up. Now we know they're involved in otherwise in the pickup and the 18 and a half minutes, but with the stuff that's going on with the LSD and that investigate, who you know what I mean? Like it feels like that was Royce's purview.
I'm looking at my notes here, and when you were saying the voice on the other end of the line when you said you thought it was the cowboy, I'm
Yeah.
looking at my notes, and right after Nina shoots him, Cyrus, she says, the hospital's close, I can save your life. Just tell me who you're working for. And he says, you fucked up. Xavier knows about you. And then she goes to pick up the phone and the
Oh,
phone
that's right.
clicks.
Right. So it could be Xavier
I'm thinking it
as
might be
well.
Yeah,
Xavier.
Yeah. Well, either if it's either one
If
of
it doesn't
them,
really
it's going to
matter.
get
Yeah.
back to him, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's not Mad
For
he's
sure.
Raoul.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not it's not Man Raoul.
God, we
That's
better
right.
see Mad Raoul next week, Solo.
All right. I thought this whole
Like
thing was
Bruce better be
cool.
playing Mad Raoul.
I like that we have to figure this out. You know
Yeah, I do
that? I
too.
like that. And I like the numbers thing, and I think it's kind of cool. We also, I should say that we mentioned it earlier, but the third thing that happens at the end is that Greek salads guys end up with the 18 and a
Hmm.
half minutes. So heading into next episode, we got Nina taken away by Billy. He's got to take her to Saks, or is he going to take her somewhere else so he can gain more evidence on her? Is he going to like, I don't know, try to get the truth out of her before he brings her to Saks?
Or would yeah,
Is Jim going to be there? You know what I mean? Like, who knows what's going to happen in that
yeah.
case?
Well,
They got to,
guys, throughout this, especially when Grooms wakes up and tells Billy, I'm like,
yes, thank you.
thank God it's not 1972. Thank God it's not 2020 with cell phones, where
Yeah.
Yeah,
he'd be like, it'd be a call to a text to Sax, a text
that's what I kept forgetting while we were talking. My host job, I wanted to interject. Is anyone thinking about grooms right now? Like while you're watching it, because they didn't really go. They went back to it very quickly, but then they don't go back to it to confirm that the information has been relayed, right? Or did I miss that?
Well, and oh, sorry. I was going somewhere else there, Axel. What were you saying? Sorry, I
I
I'm
don't
saying
had to blank out.
we didn't get a confirmation that the information has been relayed,
know. We just
right?
No.
know Billy knows,
We know
and
Billy knows.
I mean, how would he relay the information to
Okay.
well to
Well, that's
Sax?
right.
I
We
Yeah,
didn't
don't
because
know.
talk about,
Smoke signals?
yeah.
I don't
we know
know.
they're still five hours away too. So
Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's why I was
Okay.
saying the whole like
Right. We didn't talk
text.
about when he goes and visits
I
and
think he's
when
on his
Billy,
own, Billy,
yeah.
yeah, I do too.
right
One
now.
other cool thing we didn't mention there when Billy gets taken that is that Billy basically saves her life by doing that.
The irony of
Yeah.
that.
Because with
Would
Grant
Grant
in
have
there,
pulled the trigger? Do you think he would have pulled the trigger?
I think he do. I think he would. I don't think he likes her, and I think he wants to. I think he's basically a lapdog for the cowboy
Yeah.
guy or whoever, and Xavier,
We should
whoever
just
acted
call
for
him instead of Man in Black, Man in Hat.
Man in
Man in
That's what we should
Hat.
Black.
call it,
Yeah.
Man in Hat.
I like Barney Fife though. That's a
Yeah,
classic.
Barney. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I did in my attempt to summarize. You know what I was thinking? Maybe when we do the alien thing, Ando, maybe you should be the summarizer. You're more. I'm more ethereal with it. I just kind of picked that you're more direct. I think. I think
Well,
you might be better at the picking of the stuff, and we kind of
for
talk
Um,
about it.
for this show, and
You're
I've
good.
taken notes in a very different way on this show since it's a little more linear than most of the stuff we cover. So I kind of just have a little scene by scene breakdown here, so I don't
I
forget
like it.
anything.
Next week, Ando leads us more. All right. We want to
I
be
think
led by you.
you're
and
doing just fine. I can just fill in the
Okay.
details. I
That's good.
like that.
Okay.
I
and
like
I'm
Okay.
here
that
for
better.
comic relief. That's and singing.
And the good looks too, and the
Well,
Sarper
I'm the eye candy.
impersonation.
Yes, I'm the Gallo Grady of this pod. But
There you go.
Oh, going back, we missed one other thing on the thing at Cyrus's, and it was we didn't really get a crazy action scene in this episode like the other episodes, but we had an awesome grenade blowing up the house.
Yes,
that
that
was
was fun.
awesome. That
Thank you
Yes.
for
was.
reminding us of that grenade. That was
Yes.
very
Did
fun.
you? Every time I see actors running from an explosion, I think of one of the worst CGIs ever in the history of television.
What's that?
And
Yeah,
there's
I
an
want to know what it is.
there's an episode of CSI Miami where David Caruso's walking out, and it is so off. It is like the worst CGI I've ever seen. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to look it up when after we get off
It
the
feels like
episode here now.
MacGruber. Um,
This was
but
great. I felt
no,
Yeah.
yeah, the
that's
sound
why
was
when I
good. Yeah, it
see,
was good.
I mean, it's very realistic the way it was shot, and that's what I wanted to say. I really like the shot selection in this episode. The
Mhm.
stuff
Yeah.
in the car, just, I mean, the way they shot the explosion, it wasn't like a super wide shot of them in a distance. It was from a, like kind of a side angle, and I loved how this episode was shot. I really do.
Yeah. Well, the whole series has been like
Well,
that, man.
yeah,
It's so crisp.
but
It's great.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
a
you're
great
right. It
episode.
is the whole series. I just, again, probably from taking a little time off, and that's why when I do a rewatch, I'm gonna look more shot selection, stuff like that. Now it's kind of story, the characters, and I mean, we do catch stuff, but I really want to watch it with a single eye just on how everything's, directed and everything because this is gonna be a fun rewatch.
I dig it. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. I think we got to the end. This has been a long one. This is maybe our longest pod
Is it
yet.
really?
This is what
Well,
happens when we're at night. We
yeah.
record at night.
And also in Howard Hughes, I love that he has a big poster of Jane Russell in The Outlaw, his
Yeah,
movie.
Yes.
I just had to.
that was fun. They're having fun with that stuff.
They
Everything
are.
was great.
And
This was
I'm
a
eating
fun
everything up.
episode. We only have one episode left, folks.
Yeah.
We will be back for the finale. I think we said we're going to do that same time next Monday, right?
Yeah,
Solo?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I'm sorry,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I'm gonna be out of town again
Yes. So it's going to be a
for
little
this
bit
weekend.
later, but don't despair because it's the finale. So there's not going to be like another episode on Thursday. And we're recording a little. I'm going to try to get this up tonight so everybody can be listening to it. And we are
Oh,
when. Oh, go ahead.
before we
Well,
go, I was just looking through my notes. At the end, I always like to add in some of that character actors that had bit parts
Yeah.
that are in this one. In this episode, Cyrus Baker was played by Michael B. Woods. He's kind of been around a lot, but I don't remember most of these because it's only been one episode. But one episode of Shameless, one episode of Shining Girls, and one episode of The Bear. So I think he's going to be an
oh,
up
he's
and
on a
comer.
roll. Well,
Yes.
Shameless, that's a Latoya show.
Yeah. There's a
So
lot
maybe
of
that's yeah.
Shameless actors scattered throughout the whole series. But
Yeah.
like Howard Hughes was played by Tom Nellis, who really hasn't been in a lot of on-screen stuff, but he's has a very extensive theater
Theater
career,
background.
so big
Yeah.
theater guy. And Linda, the secretary or the assistant that got the Bowie tickets, Mimi Fletcher is her name. She started acting in like 2000. She had uncredited roles in Swordfish and The Replacements. In recent years, one episode of Ozark, one episode of Better Call Saul, one episode of Shameless, 3 episodes of Shrinking, and Axel 2 episodes recently of Ransom Canyon.
Oh,
Wow.
she
So
was in Ransom Canyon?
2 episodes as a character named Penny.
Well,
Penny.
this is the thing. When Minka is on a screen, I
Yeah,
get
you can't.
very distracted.
You can't capture anything else. So
Josh
I just like
Duhamel
to
is on screen. I get distracted. So
I just like to mention those little character
Freckles, you
actors
get
because
me
there's so
every
many cool
time.
ones in this show. So
I love that you do that, Andy, and I like that too because those are the peeps we love. We love our actors, as Solo is an actor too. And next year he will be in starring in Duster season 2 as Abbott's brother,
yeah, Abbott's long
the
lost brother.
long lost brother, coming in there and saying, "We support you too, Nina. I was talking with my sister-in-law, and she really likes you."
I'd be like, Abbott.
I'll be writing the dialogue.
God,
And
please,
we both
please
just lost a
no.
And we
job.
both just got fired. Yeah. So it's amazing how that works.
Cutting room floor. That's the
All of a
outtake.
sudden, Axel's
So,
making Abbott's brother a ballet dancer and he's skipping along
all right, we're
this
going to end
desert
this
in.
thing, everybody. It's been great having you back, Solo. It's been
Oh,
great having you here, of course, Ando. We are going to be back next Tuesday at about 7 p.m. You can join us on YouTube. If you are listening to us and you liked our coverage, please subscribe to Daily DVR, Digital Video Recorder, DVR, and you will get a bunch of episodes of everything we do. So when we come back and Andy and I and sometimes Solo are covering Alien Earth, you'll hear it. When in September we're going to cover Task with Mark Ruffalo, you will hear it. If we in the next couple of weeks, we are going to do our top 5 half-year TV shows.
oh,
So
I didn't know. This is a
6
surprise.
Yeah, so
months.
we
It's yep.
we talked about that on the Friday show that Axel and I did.
That
So
that I will listen to.
yeah, that was a fun one. We're going to
It
do
was fun.
that. And we're also considering maybe dipping into, because we only got a couple of weeks, but maybe we'll dip into that New York Times top 10
Oh
movies
yeah.
of the 21st century
Oh, that'd be
That
list.
fun.
could I was thinking that could be a
Yeah.
special edition of the film list solo.
You got a
Oh, that
list,
would be
send it to me,
fun.
the film list
Yeah,
at
Yes.
gmail.com, but with Axel.
I
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah,
that.
for sure, for sure.
With
A
Axel.
That's
Daily
why I
Axel
say
will
it's
DVR
a
out.
film list
I say
crossover.
it's a special edition where it's not really part of the solo HK 1000, but it's
That's
Yeah.
still
right.
part of the
That's
film
what we
list.
used to do back in
Yep.
the day. We used to do
Yeah.
X-Files round tables and
Uh-huh.
Let's
oh
do
my
it.
God.
Let's do that because I'm looking at people's lists and I know right away there's 2 movies. There's one movie in particular that's my second favorite movie of all time that's not on anybody's list.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. We all know you've talked about it extensively, Axel.
Wait, what's the time
No,
frame? How
it's
many
Rebel
years?
Moon Part 2,
Oh,
Ando.
okay.
Oh yeah, part
Two-
two. He likes better.
Anything
25
from
years,
2000 on.
Okay,
2000
so
on.
last
Yeah,
25 years.
that's the
Yeah.
21st century. We're living
Yep.
in
No,
it,
but
Solo.
I know I'm not very smart.
Yes, you are.
I'm
You have a
Abbott's
degree
brother.
from Syracuse University. You're
I
very
do,
smart.
but I'm very shameless about it.
Well, you shouldn't be. We're going to do that. And if you know what my second favorite film of all time is, you know that it came
McCabe and
out.
Mrs. Miller.
No,
No?
that's in the top
Primer?
10.
Primer?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Ah,
Of course, that's going to be on my list of
yes.
top
That's right.
10 films.
2001 and Primer are your top two.
Those are
Still?
my top 2 films.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
That I could watch
Primer.
again and again that just delight me, and I love them so much.
Primer. I really enjoyed Primer.
Yeah.
Did he do a
But
follow-up one like 10 years later? Another, not a follow-up,
yes,
but another movie.
Upstream Color,
Yep, that's
which
it.
I liked a lot, but unfortunately, Shane Carruth has
Shane
turned out to
Carruth.
be not a great individual
Ah,
and is probably never going to make a movie again.
okay. Well, there we
Who
go.
knows? Maybe he's getting help now and therapy
I
that
hope
he
so.
very well needs because the guy can make an amazing film. But I don't know personally. I only know his film. So if he made another
Yeah.
film, I'd probably watch it. There's a film called,
What is the Carruths? Ray Carruth, Shane Carruth? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I know it's
stay away
interesting,
from that name.
but there was
Stay away
a
from that.
screenplay that he wrote
I
called
don't even know what that means.
it was called A Topiary, and I have read parts of the screenplay and I've read what the movie was about. And if this was ever made, it was such a cool fucking movie. but I don't know if we'll ever get to make it. Anyway, let's end the podcast. Subscribe to Daily DVR.
Right.
You'll get all this stuff that we're talking about. Also, next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a show with Jenny and Gina. We're going to be talking about The Ultimatum, Queer Love Season 2. We're going to be talking about Next Gen NYC and all a bunch of things that Andy and Solo don't want to have anything the fuck to do with.
Yeah,
I'm going
pretty
to talk.
much.
And also, later this week,
Oh,
I will
Axel's
be
freezing
on
his
an
mic.
episode of Murder She Watched with Amy Archer
Nice.
from Little Miss Recap. We talk about the mortician, aka the future of Heath Snowlow, the bastard podcaster. That's you. All right. Andy, thank you. Heath, thank you. Latoya, we love you. Hopefully you can come on again, do a season wrap up. That's your invitation. I'll send her a message personally. I'll just call her up. I'll text her after we're done. Thanks everyone for listening, and we love you. We only mentioned the interview 3 times, so let's not.
It was like 12. I figured it's been a couple of weeks. You guys are,
Come
uh,
on, she
I know
made
it's
the
a big.
show.
No, she did,
We're
and
proud of it. We're proud
we
of
are
her.
proud of it.
All
No,
right,
yeah.
I'm gonna go watch Below Deck. Nice talking to you guys. Peace out.